Hey, welcome back, Doc D in the Dungeon. And it's been, I don't know, not quite a week, I guess. And went down a couple rabbit holes working on my portable light charging station. And so our last episode, we had the top, which is, it's pretty close to its final form. I am going to make a few minor alterations when I do the next iteration. Probably the biggest one of those is that my clearance from left to right here is just a little bit shy. I'm going to open it up probably 25 or 30 thousandths. They go in and out fairly well, but they do have a tendency to hang up, and so I open that up a little bit and it'll clear it up. All right, so I was going to work on the top, and I didn't. I got stuck in a little wormhole, and I crawled down a rabbit hole, and I was looking for, I had all these chargers, right? I laid it out, and what I looked at, this is stuff that I still want to put in. It's probably not going to make it in, but it might. So I had all these chargers that I wanted to put in here, and I started looking at where I had clearance. Go ahead and back it. Where I had clearance top to bottom. And so, you know, one of the things that I talked about early on was that these handles stick up quite a bit. And in actuality, when this is closed, there's probably less than an inch of clearance from here to the top. And so that winds up, this block I can't do anything with up above. All right. So then I thought about, well, I had all these GoPro chargers, and I have more GoPro chargers that I still have to find. They're stuck in a battery, in a camera case somewhere that I'm not sure where they are. I needed a place to put those, and then I was thinking about, you know, I've got extra batteries that I'd like a place. Where can I find room? And so that's what I did, is I just went ahead and I said, all right, where do I have room right now? Excluding the top, because that's going to be eaten up by chargers. I'm probably get my inReach in there, and then I'm out of room. And then I still have to do cabling and all that good stuff. So I thought, well, you know, I've got from here around, I get this little L-shaped bracket, right, that I could put stuff in. And so I thought, well, how could I take full advantage of that? And so I created, and it's a really good fit, I created this. And that's fancy. I don't care who you are, that's fancy. But a little battery tray that holds batteries, and then this. And they just slide together. And this, so obviously I printed these on my bamboo. I have a P1P. And then for the case itself, or the flooring, I did a laser cutter. And these are set in there snugly. It's a friction fit. They're what they're supposed to be. And so, as you can probably imagine, it took quite a bit of time to get those to line up very, very smooth and accurately the way that I wanted them to. And it sure did. So, oops, I put that in upside down. There we go. Come back up and take a look. All right, okay. So what did it take to get all this together? Well, the very first thing that I did, so I operate through two different programs, three really, but two CAD programs. I operate through DraftSight, which is my 2D, my laser cutter stuff, and then I also use Fusion 360. And then Fusion 360 I use in the 3D printers, and then I do have some CNC capabilities as well. I'm not currently using Fusion 360 for that, but I will be soon. I'm trying to get smart on that, and that's a hard job. So anyhow, the very first thing I did is, you know, I had the basic dimensions of the bottom plate, and I basically just put it all together in DraftSight, my 2D dimensional program. It is 3D, but I only use it for 2D. And then I started playing with what I wanted it to do, and I wanted it to be a smooth, snug fit, look like it was actually designed to fit there, and it is, and does. And so I got that all locked in, and then I exported that out of a DWG file to a DXF file, imported it into Fusion, extruded it, and printed it out. And that was a one and done. This would have been ideally one piece, but I've got about a 9.5 inch print area on my bamboo, and so I had to split it into two. And then the more I thought about doing that, the more I liked it in that, you know, this piece is, it doesn't have to be there, it could be something else. All right, so that kind of appealed to me. And that's the purpose of this. I'm playing around with the thought of making a Patreon account so that people can have access to my files, and I'm playing around with that idea. I'm not at the point really where I need a Patreon page, but I want it to be kind of a clearinghouse of files and information, and kind of a collaborative network is really what I'm kind of trying to get to. And you know, if I have a Patreon page, it'll be cheap. It'll be really cheap, because again, this isn't about me. This is about sharing my journey, my thoughts. I really enjoy watching other people problem solve some things, and I take a lot away from that, and that's why I film these, because, you know, how does it work? So anyhow, going back to this, so when I designed this, then I had to adapt this plate, and that probably took the most time out of all of it. So initially I did a scaling of 98%. Well, I started to do a scaling of 98%, and I thought, no, that won't be enough. And so my very first one was a 96%. And yeah, well, actually the first one I did, I printed full size just to see, is there any discrepancy from, there it is. I wanted to see what the shrinkage is as I went from drawing to 3D printed part. And as you can see, very, very little. But I didn't know. You know, I had very little use with the bamboo. Super impressed with it. So I did 100%, and I thought, okay, cool. These sides are 50 thousandths. The easiest thing would have been for me would have been to do offset lines on the inside of this part. For whatever reason, DraftSight just won't do it. I mucked around with it for 25-30 minutes just trying to figure out why it wouldn't do it. Still haven't figured it out, and so I scaled it. You know, and you know, scaling works. So went with a 96 percentile scaling, and it was way too small. And you can already probably see where the problem is going to be, is that, you know, this is going to be the issue. So the 96% scaling is way small here, but here we're still a little large. And I kind of thought that might be a problem, but you know, you never know. So 96, there's a 90, no, that's not even a 97. Anyhow, then I went to 98%. 98% got me really close, and what I wound up noticing is that, you know, okay, this will work if I actually will just trim off the little lobe, and it's good enough. And you can see that's exactly what I did. I cleaned it up, I filled it, and called it good. All right, so there I have that, and like I said, you know, so there's basically 4 iterations just to get the insert shape itself. And then I looked at the 3 things that I had that I wanted to go in there, and granted I have 2 more GoPro chargers that once I find them I'll add in here. And so what I did is I basically, measured them with a set of dial calipers, got my rough dimensions, looked at the corner radius, made an educated guess on what they were, and I got really close. So this was the first one, revision 1, that actually, they fit, and it did kind of what I wanted it to do. And I was really happy, and I think I actually printed one of these. Yeah, there it is. Yeah, I actually cut that out of wood because I had a few minor alterations to make. This one was a little bit tight. I had to open it up. But these two were good. This one was a little bit off. So this is 5 iterations in, and I thought, I'm good. And I cut it out of wood. I set everything in there, and I'm like, wow, I like it. Now, I was even taking into account the routing for cables, right? Because these all have to be powered. And so I was taking into account, how do I locate them so that I can route cables in and out of them? And so I was happy until. This is one of the things that I always told my students to say, when you're doing rapid prototyping and you're doing 2-dimensional stuff, laser cutting, building 3-dimensional forms, you always have to think 3-dimensional. Well, you can probably already see the problem in that I've got these 2 computers that actually stick down below. Let me drop this in here. And there was a problem. So if I had all the batteries in here, it would actually interfere with getting the straps in. And so it's like, okay, not a problem. So I backed up, and then I did a couple more iterations trying to get them the way I liked them. And so, this is how I do things, and this is how I problem solve. You take it one step at a time. The old adage is how to eat an elephant, one bite at a time. And so, you take out your most salient feature that you need to address, and in this particular case, it was this profile. Once I got this profile done, then the rest of it, I just take it one step at a time. I did all 3 of the battery charger modules at once, and I got lucky. I got 2 of them good on the first try, and the third one I needed to open it up a little bit. I got it on the next try. All right, but you can see how quick and easy it is to do this with cardboard. I mean, I just cut these things out. Speed's really high, and it takes just a moment to cut one of those out. The wood takes a bit longer, and it's more expensive. Right? But going back to, when I did the 3D print, let's see there. When I did this 3D print, the first thing I did is I blocked out a cardboard model, and so that was the very first iteration, and you can see I've got these sharp edges, and it fits pretty good actually, but I wanted to, once it comes out of there, then I don't like sharp edges, right? And so I actually had a pretty rounded corner there. I just copied that corner there, and then I just truncated that, and it fits in there really well. It looks like it was designed for it, and I'm really happy with the aesthetics of it. All right, so that's been, I don't know, I'd say I probably have 6 to 7 hours all told, just in this part, getting that back the way I wanted it to. So what do I have left? Come on over here. So the remaining pieces, and this will be a little more complex because I got all these chargers, right? I have my cardboard template. You notice I've cut out for where the handles are going to be sticking up. That's dead area, dead space. I can't use it. And so I just went ahead and cut that out. So that way I could lay this stuff out and start modeling it and envision where it's going to go. Other things that I want to put in there, I've got the old GoPro I'd like to throw in there as well. My cards. And then, my captain's license stuff, I pretty much resigned myself to this. This probably isn't going to make it in this design. And that's fine. In all honesty, it never did go with the case, so not a huge deal. But that's it. Probably going to be one, maybe two more videos on this as I start to bring this all together. And I'm going to do much the same as what I did on these. I'll do a template for this minus our cutout area, and then I will cut those to fit so that they're a precision fit. See, that one's still, and so they'll stay trapped in there. How am I going to anchor it? Probably going to go through the top of the box and anchor it that way. I mean, I can still go ahead and seal it up. Shouldn't be a big deal. And it's not like this is going to get thrown in the water by any means. So anyhow, I hope that you find this interesting and helpful. You know, I'm always welcome to feedback, you know, things that you'd like to see. If you saw something and you had an idea, drop it in the comments below. I do read the comments and I will respond. If it's not, you know, I've already had a snarky comment. I just, whatever. You know, I don't have time for that. Anyhow, talk to you out. Catch you on the other side. Welcome back, Doc Dean.